internet money put it into that, how does that really work? How are you really getting money?
Well, do you believe in the US dollar?
Yeah. But how are you getting money, internet money? How are you getting internet money?
Well, I might know a couple of ways. Let's see if we can get some magic internet money. Introducing Abracadabra.money. Love the name, love the whole schematics of this. So basically, Abracadabra.money is a lending platform that uses interest-bearing tokens as collateral to borrow a USD-pegged stablecoin called MIM, or Magic Internet Money, and you can use the stablecoin like any other traditional ones. So the great thing about Abracadabra Money is that you can finally put your staked assets to use. So for example, if you are staking sushi and you get back X sushi, the receipt for basically staking your sushi, you're kind of just holding this X sushi and you're not really able to do anything with it actively. Passively, you're collecting a percentage of the protocol fees, but actively, it's just kind of sitting in your wallet. So what Abracadabra.money allows you to do is to deposit your X sushi on Ethereum mainnet and borrow against it by printing MIMs and using your MIMs elsewhere. You can even leverage it by looping it, and I'll get more into that later. But check it out. This website is Abracadabra.money. They are currently on 5 different networks: Ethereum, BSC, Phantom, Avalanche, and Arbitrum. And what you need to do is basically have a hot wallet set up, a MetaMask, and start casting spells. It's really cute. It's kind of like a fun way to learn how to lend and borrow money. Abracadabra Money is a spell book that allows users to produce magic internet money. You, as the spellcaster, can provide collateral in various forms as listed, and then you can borrow against it so that your collateral is not just sitting there. You can actually put it to work for you. And it's basically collateral in, stablecoin out, and then to reverse the spell or to pay back your loan, you simply just return the MIMs to the website. And then on this website, you can do a couple of things. First, if you go to farm, you can earn spell by depositing staked liquidity provider positions, or SLP. And there's 2 different options on Ethereum mainnet right now. If you play around with it some, check out some of the other networks, there's going to be other options as they continue to develop. Right now, basically, if you deposit spell and ETH, you earn spell. You can also deposit MIM and ETH and earn spell. If we go to the tokenomics, there are 3 main tokens for Abracadabra. Spell, which is the protocol's token used for incentivization. There is S-Spell, or staked spell, that are used for fee sharing and governance. And then MIM, which is a USD pegged stablecoin backed by your deposited collateral. Right now, the total supply is about 210 billion spell, and the initial burn halved the supply. Here, let's look at the distribution. You have 63% towards global farming incentives. You have 7% for the initial DEX offering, or decentralized exchange, and then you have 30% for the team allocation on a 4-year vesting schedule so that they don't just dump on the market all at once. You can kind of see how the vesting schedule plays out. You can also see their token farming emissions. So the spell token basically helps to keep deep liquidity in the markets by incentivizing users. It gets into a lot of details, so if you want to go through this, I'm going to link it in the description below. One thing to keep in mind is when you stake and lock your spell token to get S-Spell, you have a 24-hour time lock, meaning that once you stake it, you can't withdraw for at least the next 24 hours. You can also bridge your tokens to AVAX, Phantom, and Arbitrum. If you look at DeFi Llama, it shows you the amount of total value locked since this summer, because it's relatively new. Abracadabra Money was created early this spring, so it's been around for a while in crypto land, but it's only recently begun to take off when Spell shot up to almost $5 billion in total value locked last month. So we're still very early. This is very experimental. It's high risk. As always, you have smart contract risk. So just something to be aware of. So let's go back in here. You can borrow. This is going to be like the main backbone utility, is to summon MIMs. And here are the assets that you can deposit. And you can see how much MIM has already been borrowed against these assets and how much is left to borrow, the interest that you get, and then the liquidation fee as well. Not all of these are interest bearing. For example, Phantom obviously is not interest bearing, but you have quite a few options to play with. These are the deprecated markets that you can no longer borrow MIMs from. If you want to check out something like Avalanche, which has been really going crazy the last few months, here are all of the available options for Avalanche. And you'll notice that some of these have already been borrowed out. So these have been completely borrowed out against. And if you want to get a notification of when they might come back again, when they're being replenished, go to mim_replenishes and give them a follow on Twitter and turn on notifications, and they'll let you know. For example, 4 hours ago, they just got 10 million more MIM available to be minted on Avalanche using Staked Joe as collateral. So this is one of the best places to get real-time notifications for any of the stand replenishments. You can also stake in here as well, but it's only available on Ethereum. So here you can see staked, and then you can unstake by clicking the middle button. You can stake your spell and gain S spell. There is no impermanent loss, no loss of governance rights. Continuously compounding. After each new deposit, all staked spell are subject to a 24-hour lockup period. Staked spell automatically earns fees from MIM repayments from all wizards proportional to your share of the stake pool. You can also bridge your tokens from chain to chain. And here are your parameters for maximum, minimum, and then your estimated fees. You can also swap, and once you hit swap, it will take you directly to Curve. And this is where you can swap between assets. And these are all the stable coins that you can swap between. And then here are the analytics. So right now there's about 5 billion in TVL with about 32 million in total fees generated. These are the fees that are being distributed back to the staked spell holders for providing that liquidity. And you can see the total value has really gone up. It's 5x in literally the last 2 months. You can tell which collateral pools are being borrowed against the most. So let's go to borrow, and something that I wanted to point out. So let's take XSushi for example. Right now you can borrow up to 26.6 million, and there's already been about 24 million borrowed. Your interest rate is pretty low. Okay, so for an example, if I wanted to deposit, let's say 100 XSushi, and I wanted to borrow 50% of my collateral, then my position health is still relatively good, and my liquidation price would be $4.85 roughly, which XSushi has not hit this year. It's a safer leverage position versus, you know, if you wanted to borrow 80, right? The liquidation price is 7.7, which is very risky because XSushi has gotten very close to 7.7, and if it were to hit that price or lower, your position automatically gets liquidated. And what you could do, say I wanted to borrow 50%, I can change leverage. This is opening a leverage position. You can read their docs on it. This is definitely very, very high risk, and I wouldn't even recommend it. But if you wanted to read more about it, I will link the docs in the description below. And then so once you have your MIM, you've basically freed up some of your collateral to do other degen things in DeFi with it. Versus you having to go to a bank and apply for a loan and taking days and days and having to do all sorts of documentation. Whereas here, you can literally just get a loan in a few clicks of a button in a few minutes and you're good to go. And then also keep in mind that if you are turning on leverage and trying to do the loops and going a little bit more degen, you have risked your liquidation to 100%. Meaning that if you get liquidated while on leverage, your entire account gets liquidated. So everything you've earned, everything you've deposited, your collateral, all of it. And to repay your loan, you basically buy MIM on the market, or you get back the MIM that you had borrowed and input it here, and you remove your collateral, and your position is good. And that's how you get magic internet money. So Abracadabra.money is a really great but risky protocol to basically unlock your stranded capital and turn what would have been otherwise illiquid assets liquid again. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, let me know. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the comments below.